forget some of the things that I've done.
Charge of those little parks. And if you feel like you could do that, you could tell stories to people, you be in charge of that little park, go for it. We welcome you. We will help you with it. So that's my story. And I hope you vote for Buu Nygren next Tuesday, not this Tuesday, next Tuesday. And so that we can continue to do more things for the Navajo people. Bye.
Hey, I wanted to check in over at Shiprock Motel, though, on the end of the hey, brother. I don't know if you want to make a reservation, Crownpoint Motel. I'll take Zelle. I'll give you my number. Okay. Haga sila ada corner of a cake albert so nearly agenda the visible card and we'd like to welcome here up on the stage Mr. Steve at City, EPA, and let's hey, Environmental Protection Agency. Thank you, Steve. Here's the mic.
Hey. Yeah. Am I a sharp dressed man right now? Look at this. I'm sorry for being about half hour late. I've been driving all afternoon from Sanaha Gate out by Tuba City, Coal Mine Canyon, Western Agency. That's where I live. I was with my wife and my grandchildren this morning. Had to get them on their swings, just a few minutes with them, and before I hit back to work and back on the campaign trail. Shay Stephen Brian Etsity, Nshe. I'm Tohe Glini, Ashiha Edish Ja, Ado Totsot ni Edish Che, and Twitichi ni Edish another Nenchle. I'm originally from Luk Ajigwe. My mother and all my relatives, Tohe Glini, from Round Rock all the way down to Twotzes Aden, Sayeli Wheatfields area. All my relatives. My mom had 13 brothers. My Che married twice. And I have a lot of relatives in Ojibwe and a lot of uncles. And my father is from Dislagene, up on Black Mesa, from Forest Lake. And a lot of my Ashiha and Twitachini relatives are all up there. Those are the people that I come from. Executive Director at the Navajo Environmental Protection Agency. I served President Shirley 2 terms. And then under Ben Shelley, I kept going. I did 12 years in this post before. I know a little bit about continuity, and I know how much time it takes to get big things done. Sometimes you can get it done in 4 years. Sometimes it really helps to have a second term. When I was in my first 4 years, that's when we really started to push back on the federal government. Get us resources and get this expertise going to clean up these abandoned uranium mines. We got a hearing. We got a congressional hearing in 2007. That was in the second term. We joined a lawsuit at the end of the first term. By the end of the second term, we were winners as a part of that lawsuit. And that lawsuit helped bring $1 billion in cleanup money. Now, most of that money went to the federal government to help us manage it, but that money is still there. And it's going to take people who know how to keep pushing this federal government. It's going to have to take a leader, like Mr. Halona said, with the vision and the pushing to look far beyond into the future. Even beyond 2 terms, but using 2 terms to make it better and to set us on that track to meet those massive great goals of cleaning up all of this contamination left behind by uranium mining. I am proud to say that President Nygren, just like my colleague Charlene said, has never once said we're supporting uranium mining. We're right behind all of the efforts to push against that. Here in Crownpoint, we have a facility right here, and we don't want that opened up again. We want to get that moved away from here. We have private companies that have mining claims right down the street, Hosta Butte, in that area. We're trying to hold them off. We have uranium companies that want to start mining on Tzotzil. We've already told the federal government, the United States Forest Service. Last year, President Nygren wrote a letter saying, we oppose. We oppose. Last month, we had a sit down with the state of New Mexico Minerals and Mining Department. They have a permit responsibility for these new mines. We told them face to face, no go. President and the Navajo Nation have a law. We want it to be recognized. We want you to understand absolutely no uranium mining. We're cleanup. We're about cleanup first. And that's always been our message in this administration and from what I used to do in the other administrations. We need cleanup. And so when we're getting to cleanup, it's going to happen. It's starting in Church Rock. If you haven't heard about it, the Northeast Church Rock mine is going to kick off their big cleanup in about 3 weeks, 2 days after the primary election. We're going to be down there. That cleanup is going to start. There's 1 million tons of contaminated soil and waste rock there. That's going to start. What that means is that we have to have knowledgeable people in place to make sure that thing gets kicked off right and it gets going. It's going to take over 10 years to clean up. Right next door to that, there's another mine called the Quivira mine. That one is going to start cleanup pretty soon, but we have an issue with that one. That one, they propose to take the waste to Theroux, New Mexico, and they want to create a new waste repository at the Red Rock landfill. That's the best that the federal government could come up with. We don't think that's the best they can do. We have a plan, and we're working with the state of New Mexico right now, today. We're getting closer and closer to getting an agreement with them because we want to create a waste repository not in Theroux, a little bit further away from the nation where there's nobody living, nobody's going to be impacted. It's going to be in that area by Grants Malone called Ambrosia Lake, where lots of mines used to operate and there's cleaned up and closed facilities there. We think that that's one of the best places. And we're working to move and ask EPA to reconsider and move that waste repository further away from the nation. We know it's still going to be close to Mount Taylor, though, but it's not right on top of it. We need a better solution, and the only way we're going to get it is if we keep pushing nonstop. So when it comes to November to January, when normally administrations change out, things get lost, files get misplaced, ideas get thrown in the garbage can. We can't afford that to happen right now, not only for cleanup, but for economic development, for water rights, for transportation benefits, for housing, for everything that has to do with what's happening in your lives right now. The best thing for us on July 21st is to fill in that arrow for number 13, President Buu Nygren. And keep this administration going. Keep bringing in all of the good people that can get this work done, that know what needs to happen, what are the priorities today, and what needs to keep moving. Because come January 2027, we will likely have a new administration in the state of New Mexico. The United States Congress, House of Representatives, is going to probably turn over into Democratic control. And then we only have 2 more years of the Trump administration. We need to take advantage of all of the other things that are going to be changing around us. But here, we need to stay put with this team because we can make more things happen with better partners and continuing to work with all the people that we're working with today. They would love to see us continue moving in these areas that we're moving in. And I'm proud to be a part of this administration. I've been part of it from day one, January 2023 to now. I was one of the first group of directors that was confirmed. So I completely support all my colleagues that are either confirmed or unconfirmed. They already know what's important. They listen to you. They listen to President Nygren. And we do everything we can to work with our legislatures. As Mike said, a lot of times our efforts get all tangled up when we're working with our oversight committees and the council, but a lot of us know exactly what needs to happen. And we continue to go work with our delegates. But one of the other things President Nygren likes to say is not only look at him and support him, but look at what's happening with the council delegates. The ones that are working good with us, we support those. The ones where we would like to see some change, we ask you to really look at those people too. So it's important to elect good delegates that can continue to work on your behalf and get the things that are important for you to get them done in Window Rock and out here all across the Eastern Agency. Last thing I want to tell you is that I have learned so much this time around about what life is like here in Eastern Agency. I now understand the importance of allotment lands. I understand the sensitivities around Chaco Canyon better. I learned all of these things in the context of uranium cleanup. We need to continue supporting the allottees, and I have developed a really good working relationship with Eastern Navajo Land Commission and those 6 delegates that are on that commission. I would love to keep working with them on your behalf to get all these good projects going and get them done and see them all the way to completion. We can do that if we vote on July 21st for Dr. Buu Nygren.
Thank you, Steve. As we go down the agenda, and I'd like to thank the young kids. I know you all have concern. Our next speaker on the list is one of our community members, all the way down from Standing Rock. Local supporter Velde Yazi.
Yat Shidanesh, no Siniki, Quahuni Tloniki, Benani, Hologo, ya, Kuta, Shene Kao, Nishidesh Ka, Ako Kodoni share way, Shed Adon Nidder share way, Bedini, Dobas say that Ashki Yashin Law Bas say, Ako Dish G de ya, share way in Liniki. Adon nede benanishi la dina khayje dina khayata akut bayashti o holjij kodot oje kehoni tiniki Eastern Navajo Agency tseda adon nede beyel kito be khahizile na khayos na di nile Akkonde nicht lassen sie zede Adon nide na dani anni na rao eski yajen lo bejo bato zede nasjen tikes lako ba kotani zi ayo jo bato bezaten det nek achiyati do besnan ada It's not the Shajana Yishna She Ako Koltrade Jehiki Navajo language Bohodo Asha no how one has Ado Enizad Boho Ako Eben Nachin Lo ya Anidhano Taniki, the younger generation. Do cho oyisnas nish. Ado inta yista neya na kre. Ajashi chehinte tato. Sedet na tidet siyai rahante. Sedet ado nede. Bahas kishko anidhano taniki doyayo neta yashisido shishyat. So I strongly advocate for the younger generation. Halanikeya Anastasi Tlido Sede Adon Nede Achen Sidasi Case Dihano Taniki. They're gonna be the next generation to take over. I strongly emphasize Koha Sido Achine Shikeyaje Aninda Kagi Do Cho Obakanaja Akonihe has Twido Sani Si Tligi Isto Sede Adon Nede Aten Holtra Do Nahayo Neta na Kodo Dik at 21st gun and nai nicht gun ne Tatsa da gun nisha wait da seta I die she ad adot schnila the winning ticket. I got the winning ticket. The snow nicht that in ya Hala she nicht gonna shall we but a dado late. At all had to be set up. Shall we but this little hushine. I need Hano Taniki said I don't need Nishina Nishino Siniki. You don't go wrong. Ni Navajo Nation government said anas dina rego with a baby care nada he said need so nada would need nest any hinge kedo late she yati a masando a chedo another Aden da tiki said adon nidipit nashinisho a whole jeez out of 47 years Ishla early childhood a chiniyajananskino said that adon nidipin sick case to be jaded odiki bis on nisho this dinoba antos itchnachi a cook a day retire Ishlande. That's not the end of it. There's more work to be done at home. Hawajiko Allah ko na nish. Ako din siya way. Dr. Buu Nygren. Hashane siya way. There's no but so this no. She ato she niyishka. Halat so this an apen nache. Nihit sketo, nihit skildo. Dan he nay. Ebanan Jesus condolate. Shidanano sini. Asheha nata hilsa. Ako July 21st go. Edit aka bayo ne. Ato o adiki. Shady 23 slow. Ashi hepashichin. Ado kia ani eta shicheto. Nanesh eje eta shinale. Akut a sanen shlito. Shaway Navajo Nation President Ilwatiki 100% became hidinse. Akonichito. Make up your mind of who you're gonna vote for. Thank you for your undivided attention. Hashine ni jatano shonako ni hinata ta sonso ta shenos o na ho tra shein right o de tot lisiki episesta aro church ya ne chahikin de kwate seda adon nede Citizen be ke da hidinitze akot a eni chastito le. Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah, that Felder. Thank you. She retired 47 years. She's the richest lady in Standing Rock. I'd like to thank you all again. If you want to be recognized as the VIP, a special guest, I don't have your name up here. If you want to be recognized, submit your name with your title. I'm sure the committee would like to recognize each and every one, all the VIPs. Okay. Oh wow, my name is up next. I didn't see that until now. Who are you? Okay. I didn't even know. I don't want to take a whole lot of your time. We have Jay James on deck. Do we have Jay James in here? Jay James, hello, Olia. He's one of the local community supporter. Any of the youth supporter, the youth supporter. If you say something on all the youth, on behalf of all the youth, I'll give you the mic right after me if we don't have Jay James in here. Sheya. You know, the forum down in Shiprock, my wife and I went down to Shiprock Forum. We just want to listen in. We just want to really listen in. All the 16s. It was a full house. Not one of the candidates, not even one candidate. They don't have a plan. I swear, all they did was criticize our president. Yeah, from his toe all the way to the top of his head. That's what they were doing. They were ganging up on him. And there was no plan. It's been a while. I stepped into the political stuff, and I know what's going on. According to President Nygren, his turn came up at the forum. It's like opening the blind. It's like opening the curtain. The way he did his speech is from here on forward. Just like what it says right here, Congo. That's what he did. I never heard a word. He never criticized any one of the 16. The next 4 years. And one of the things that I noticed is all the 16s, or 15, 16 with the president. 15 could chapter house the Sado Joche down. Couldn't the Hotan Ziz Kanko. She Hotan Siske, Sadi Dan Siske, Tajanig, her chapter house with the Hoyeo. Atten, Arehuna at Adaten. Quite a coin, the big hater that you know, she hot aerolit that you know. Okay. Oh, wow. We have 2 youth speakers. Like, yeah. Oh, Ebony Nahe. Next 4 years, another 4 years, Buu Nygren, another 4 years. Aaron Lego Corner, we have a schedule that's coming up. Oh, how youth kids in the Lord before the primary election. And don't forget to grab your. Where's my red ticket, Mr. Halona? This is unaided. I got it over here. Dita, this is your lunch ticket. If you haven't received, or if you can pick up your ticket, okay. Do we have a J. James in here? J. James? Okay. Our youth representative, we have Andrea Begay. Hako. Dida de yaninda kage chena represent this list.
It goes electric, baby. All through my city, all through my home. We're flying up no ceiling when we in our sound.
Can you hear me? Hello, everybody. My name is Andrea. I just want to say a couple of words. I don't want to take too much time. If you'll forgive me, I'm a little bit nervous. I have met Buu in the year of 2022. And when we first met him, he was so kind, so humble. He immediately spoke to the youth in a way that could make you feel inspired. How many of you have ever felt inspired by somebody who was so humble, kind, and compassionate, who believed in you, and you have never met him before? To me, that moved me. It made me believe in a future that I didn't know that was possible. By that time, I was 4 years younger, so I was 24 at that time. And now, 4 years later, I'm still looking up to him as someone that I believe in. I also wanted to introduce myself. Shi'e Adona Nishlinigi E Titna Jenny Nishlon Tkobahe Bushichin Nanest Edgechachitni Dashiche Do Ani E Dashanella. When we first met Buu, we were just parade banner holders at that time. My sister and I, my little niece was just about this tall, and she was probably like 10 years old. Now, it's been a while since we've been back. My father, unfortunately, his name is Andrew Begay. He had a long fight with cancer for about 8 months. So that's still kind of fresh. We lost him in November of 2000 and November of last year. And I'm just remembering him right now. He always used to travel with us when we used to come to campaign rallies. He made up a nickname for our current president, Buu. He called him Blue. And so he would always say, yeah, oh, Blue. So we really believe in him, and I know that there is a plan that he wants to follow. All of it is written here. It is true that you do have to be careful who you vote for. It only comes around now during voting times. They ask you for your vote. They say, oh, I'm going to do this. I'm going to be there for you. all of the sudden, after July, when they go into office, they act like they don't know you. How many of you have experienced bullying from members that are in office? They harass and they're not kind. I have experienced bullying right outside my house from representatives that should be standing and holding a leadership title that they need to uphold to. I couldn't believe it, but it is true and it is hard. At that time, the slogan in 2022 was Yedes Kada Netaha Case. We have come a long way. It was a long fight. And right now, we are going to go Wuslipe. Is all Wuslipe. Yedes Kago. I believe in it. I believe in our future, our youth. I have seen it. My niece is growing up. I don't have any kids of my own, but when I do, I know that it's going to be something that I do look forward to. And when I see Buu being a father, it's so inspiring to the kids, to the youth that he's with. He works, like they say, 85 hours. They don't work 8 to 5. Every day, you are constantly going beyond 5 o'clock p.m. I also work in healthcare. I started my healthcare career in 2021. So I'm going on about 6 years of working in a hospital. It makes me happy when I know that our president is investing into the Navajo Nation people, wanting to build healthcare communities that can help fighting against alcoholism. There is a lot that there needs to be done. And like they say, of course it can get done in 4 years, but it does help to have a second term. There's more to be done. Hey, to the youth that are out there, I plead with you to be careful who you vote for. The council delegates that are out there, they also, the people that we have in office right now, they work really well together. They can make more of a better difference. But it is good to be wise, and I know that you will, and I believe in you when it does come to a big decision like this. You do go to rallies. You want to listen and gather all the information that you can, and that's what I'm doing as well, because I have not been around for a while. But I know that my dad is happy. He's smiling from above, and I know that he would definitely want to be here. But I am glad that I am here today. And for the Crownpoint Hotel, I think that is great. I did not know that. So, especially in Shiprock, who all goes to the fairs in Shiprock, to here in Crownpoint? Tourism, it does gather money. So to invest in your communities like that, they always say Eastern Agency is always being forgotten. I am from Eastern Agency, Kintlatos Nilide from Church Rock. I am also born and raised from the res. I have a little sister. Her name is Tiana. My niece, my mom, Laverne, my grandma, we have a little homestead, and it does take a while to gather your things. We had just recently gotten our home site lease. That is a long process as well that our president had worked and put together in place. There's a lot more to build. So please, July 21st, number 13, please think of our current president, Dr. Buu Nygren. Let's keep him in office and let's continue to do our job. We have a plan. We're gonna do it. Thank you.
Yeah, hey, before we move to Tiana Begay, okay. Hey, I want you to all repeat after me. Let's all do some chant here for it so everybody can wake up. Let's go. 4 more years. 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 Okay, thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a Tiana Begay here. Our youth speaker, Achana Ade, Ayo President Batiata, Eto, they like what he's doing. Ako kora Tiana Begay Banat and Shatalit.
Thank you. Yate. Yate shikedo shidana she tayana beganian she. Adona shinigi e tanajini nishlon taba hem bashishin. Nas aja tachini dashache this ani dashanella. Ado na na is teen sanash didn't de nasha. E tobe waskana, that's where I vote at. And I'm a registered voter there, and I'm very proud to be part of the Eastern Agency. And 4 years ago I met Dr. Buu Nygren, and he came to me and my sister to be banner holders for him, and he came to us with open arms, very humble, and I never met a president that was very kind before. As a youth, we get criticized, we get told, you guys don't know what you're doing, you guys are too young. But Dr. Buu Nygren, he gave me hope. He gave me hope for the Navajo Nation. I just got done with my first year of early childhood education. I love my job. I love what I do for the children. And even though I'm only 21 years old, I'm still thinking about what's going to be coming for the next 10 years for our little ones. That's what it's for. As Chinigi, that's what it is. We need to think for the future. And as what our motto is keep moving forward. And as a young advocate, I want Dr. Buu Nygren to come back into office because he's not done yet. There's still more business to be done. And as Dr. Buu Nygren, he also gets a lot of criticism. People tell him, oh, you're not doing anything in office. What are you doing? It's written all right here. There's a lot of things that he's done. You just have to read behind it, and it's right there. And Church Rock, senior centers have been closed, and I'm pretty sure all over the Navajo Nation they've been closing. But guess what? Dr. Buu Nygren is reopening these senior centers for our seniors, and he also donated food to our communities. What type of president would do that? Dr. Buu Nygren would. And he's going to continue. And he also, with home site leases, not a lot of presidents have helped us. They would just, when we put in our application, they would just say, oh, I don't know how to help you. But Dr. Buu Nygren helped us with our home site. Now we can build around our home. We can continue. Maybe we'll get a land grazing permit near in the future. But I just want to say thank you to Dr. Buu Nygren, because as a youth, as our voices get shut, I am happy to be standing up here, because for our youth that can't speak for themselves, I am happy to be that 1% to speak on behalf of our Diné youth. And not only that, the Dr. Buu Nygren also invited our athletes into his presidential office. I never seen a president do that before. He encourages our athletes to go from here on beyond and come back to our Navajo Nation. That's what we want. We want our kids to get their education, to graduate and get a degree and come back to our Navajo Nation to help our Navajo people. That's what we want. And Dr. Buu Nygren also released scholarships for us. That was a huge help. As I am still going to school for early childhood education, I'm very thankful for the scholarships that he has offered to us and increasing it. And I'm hoping in the next 4 years, and if we do when we do put him back in office,
He will increase the scholarship more, and he'll give back more to the youth. So I want to remind you guys, also to our youth, please use your vote. Your voices matter. We are the future. I know I hear a lot of youth that say, I don't want to vote for anybody. They're all useless. But please, to our youth, listen to these presidents, what they're talking about, especially what Dr. Buu Nygren is talking about, because what he says is true. I have been listening into the presidential forums, and it's just ridiculous sometimes what these people that are running in for office, I'm like, what are you saying? But like I heard before, Dr. Buu Nygren, when he is received a question, he answers it. And he says, this is what I'm going to be doing for the next 4 more years. So I want you guys to please vote for Dr. Buu Nygren. Let's put him back in office 4 more years.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's an honor for me. It's an honor for me here tonight at the Victoria Pizza. It's an honor and blessing for me to introduce our current president and next 4 years president, Dr. Buu Nygren. Stand up, rise, stand up. 4 more years! 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 Ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Buu Nygren! Yeah!
Just one life.
Yeah! Ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Buu Nygren! And his wife, Jasmine Nygren! Yeah! Yeah! 4 more years! 4 more years! Yeah! At this time, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for each and every one of you for coming out here. Victoria Pizza, our first speaker is Jasmine Nygren.
Oh, yate.
Yat A. She Jasmine Blackwater Nygren Yanisha. Aro she Hushklishni Nisha. Ashin Bashichin. No da Adana Etkachini Dashache. Aro but Adnida Shanala. Aro Bethina Ashanigi Dr. Nygren Wilya. Akot ego Danes Sane do Amanishle. And I just wanted to greet each and every one of you who are here this evening. Yat A, Crownpoint, Yat A. And I just wanted to thank everyone for spending time with us, learning a little bit about the campaign, learning more about Dr. Nygren and yes, what's been done in the last 4 years and also, the plans if elected for the next 4 years. But I just wanted to take some time this evening to talk about some of the things that you don't hear about President Nygren, who he is as a father, as a husband. Yes. And it's so important that I think you think about those kinds of characteristics that make up a good leader when you're thinking about who you want to vote for. And so as his wife, we've been together for coming up on 12 years now. And so we've been together for a very long time. And one of the things that I've been emphasizing on the campaign trail is that we've stood next to each other for the last 12 years. We've stood behind each other in our different capacities as leaders and on our educational journeys as well. When I met President Nygren, I was in college. I was at Stanford University. And when we met, and I like to tell this story because it's kind of funny. People get a kick out of it. But we met at the chapter house. We met at the Red Mesa chapter house. Yes. Yeah, so very important for you guys to go to your chapter houses. You never know who you're gonna run into. And so we met at the chapter house 12 years ago, and it was there that we met each other, and then from then on that we started to support one another. And I was getting my undergraduate degree, and my husband at that time had recently graduated. He was thinking about his master's program. And at that time, a little bit after we met, he got his master's in business administration from ASU. And then I received my bachelor's degree around the same time from Stanford. And then after that, I went to law school at ASU. So I received my law degree there. And then around that same time, he got his doctoral degree from the University of Southern California. And through all these different educational journeys that we've been on together, we've always supported one another. We've always stood next to each other as we were studying and through those hard times. After law school, I went to get my license. So I passed the bar exam in the state of Arizona. So I'm a licensed attorney in the state of Arizona. And meanwhile, my husband was, working on the Navajo Nation at NECA. He also doesn't talk about that a lot. But we were making our lives on the Navajo Nation, and it was really important for us that we wanted to live on the nation and we wanted to give back to our communities. And so, that was something that we had always planned on. And I'm really excited to be here this evening to talk about my husband as a father, as a husband as well, because we're the proud parents of 2 young girls. We have a 4-year-old and a 2-year-old. So we have 2 little daughters at home. And, when I say that he's a good father and that he shows up for his kids and he's there as much as he can be, and even as a husband, it's the same way, he's a good husband. He's always been there for me in my educational journey as a state representative, as a county attorney. He's always supported me in those professional endeavors. And I think it's so important that you all think about that as you're thinking about who you might want to select as your next president, right? It's so important that you think about, how they show up for their families, for their loved ones. And so I just wanted to share that much about my husband, a good husband and a good father. And yes, we want him back in office for 4 more years. And I also just wanted to take a quick minute to thank all of the volunteers who are helping on this campaign. You know, this campaign, it doesn't happen easy. It doesn't happen overnight. And you guys heard from some of the volunteers, and you see a lot of the volunteers here today making it happen. And so I just want to thank all of the volunteers who spend so much time on the campaign trail with my husband. Thank you. Thank you guys so much for showing up, for making all of these events happen. You know, we wouldn't be able to do it without our volunteer and our campaign team. So thank you all so much. Thank you.
Yadlahe. Akehlam. Jasmine Nygren. Let's give him a round of applause again. Our next speaker, Honorable Dr. Buu Nygren.
Joyate, good evening. Crownpoint, how we feeling? Eastern Agency, how we feeling tonight? Yat in, good evening. Yes, Sebastian, Hojodo, when I saw Craigish in Lugo, the step out of when lay where Biat Kigi be was a git of hand in needles out of only Harish, Dyson only, how one day she had a sock is don't had a big other so inly Nilchin at Kido Adoshi and Kitchiadil Kigi, hand, Gidin needles out of not in the Hodahono Songi, a hair, Nanado late out of say that he'll Sanagido, as get a deal need, don't need it, that should not know underneath sad only. Nilchi has netto the Aron this and the Ashon Ketosh, Nide Hoto, da Hil Sanagido, Keda, Nidigi, Head or late, not in the Hotan or Sonigi, Yat to late. Aron Nidi, Betinash, Enigi, where Yach, Hona, Anigi, Head or late. She Horoba Hanas Zenle at Le I Yesehit Ola, how wonder has Alado hate Ola ne Yado hate Ola a Jen Lido Iga Hoss Zido hate Oda Atsaponet Zao Adat Ayat Eho Yehen Lehat Nisha. Tora vances case and lady, but in the hash said and lady Bamassan, how one the other yan and let Pinda le yanda as the hoish wasn't in the how the Asade, the Babaganonea Ajara, Dobins on Lego Etkin, she don't need a shitty but 2 years ago by hot show benina, Arab Massana within the shadow down Nedeb and Yanni you say. Ahol ahwet hasetar les jono hahol de snito net soon linigi beke des zido les ultra jono ido lito bananish iketati yahido nanish ido ligi beke se zido les aro alcheniers that has leon jono begedinsh ido nash nishto les bedini ehot osad nat anna arabiga to les yodo nir kar hodish jid na kitsata Ani Nila Haishi Be has dot Zeto Haishi Ben says a casegi a yo hode yeno Yadil in Soban says case a hotora na kitsata na hehoto diwa Shahaliado where the Shikides ego a hoto and Jono thought not anin lead only na kinache na kinache le hos double ha zoje ye one Ajanat anin lo see she hit the lohis had the ahonjono da do hone la peso the million san le hos double ha zoje yes hoje ashon yo toje bil ha zoje Janes the Haikahigi yo the job patnle hos double ha zoje she hit the lohe ye ho one the day ho one do hota not anin lene dai she hit the lohe a large not anin linda hot end Enne she sto as kitna anishka nenigi hot obana neshi last time a slatino ba slat the meal sa hone la ade the nep the nake days ige hot o ya ila do hanet and de hot obana neshi la hot onat anin linda kar hot dish chin to gati ai Zetga baby dot higi a hos double ha zoje are ended on hot onat ani bekagish kliji late and hot obana neshi inigi hot energy sani betsekedo hot energy gatit ai betsekeo khahi liado dida hawanda dan la chiel tio dida nebeke of a cow na hot it odi the hot ego ne hit obansen kesto hat noda es na hoil now hot o hisis kel aro to amado jepe hot energy hot o shinle July 21st Buu Nygren da no na da dio so what ashon jono di hot edo nan tindo at and the hot egi said betese lege hajot nedel zinjoa hayu din the hot and le said kidi agenda ashdin shekin khatashgandon sinda khar shi inadil netigidon sinda at never care about khade de shin hot de shlito ad hawan hadil ni shdo ni ebin nakad not an nasis case ho ilian so bansis case to had never nant shid nehda shmasana do da shne sanagi yo da ninde not anish do le to dit o the nebe because do hawan de ashon ayat hahodet bohun ben nachi hot o de ne baaj do le do nira shish hawan na hot o da ilia ebin le the nebe ke bakada hawan da hat ni to best cheat delt to thoda de close up shipa na netra do shida na sos khati shlado da as nish ashi sado ben shishnish eshi ebinina le the nebe ke bakad no na han ago they need nation so that other bands kiss to he do le hot o dina khayda das so tlando yes di anina ganigi yego na ost khadot o de betzilo khadot nishigi enat ani to nista to no da is yo neligi hehen kidini to le Eshin hode dish jiden jgonno beta ilian so bansis case kade na kherobas than de zedoba yesin jgonno cheta iliadi ni de ba khanat ani hanot anigi hwasad de izneli to kha shanada bedlo ni jgonni ani na tehi Tayana Begay do Andrea Begay kha ba kinada khan jgonno ni cha o tsi John Lade and Anina or Tahigi Beta not Ad Yatas Tantaho Ado hit Odanson case John Hot Ida Hazard but Benahish dos Arthona Nishtash dos Lithai added Pigeon Ado the Nebetan Dajil Nishigi in Jondon Hansita case the biga Ashashi Anzi seen the Denenke Kenda Zoe Donahonta Ishibihush dos Arthur no nan kidi ni na tehigi Tayana do Andrea Begay do le she hodos masane ni de khatzigi da felder ado Stephen at City to ado ni de Mr. Ramon whether MC lenigi do le hoton jonian son bansis case yes Joti eben yana shwaligi tlashiaitan kilbada hazin jo letina khaya hot on kitchena isis khando kitaton niyado nat ani da shosago di ebe ete shnilti nidan le yeshwale da edin dit oshia ho ho ni betshba zindo ten ednedo bansenda nat ani da shosag edo bedi yeshnat which nahitish net le tosh khoye da dole Edishni do ishi etadol nethigi bohone zanson siskeso ha inshnon bono etat il nitini tina khayeta ehode tishjid nit ilan soban siskes arorto not ena hunen no zinigi do no tahigi don ledo da isno tsagi he do yes nkhatso da dolzen whatlepe yes nkani na gahigi na osthaigi ke tahnat zag na hat abke da nit oben jetzt oder doch sind da doch nenne ebe da iljin son Francis kese hehen gedini dolle aro stonde de nebeke ob kada tajda gahada de nedan des se shidona atande jonle si yego al kan Chinese food na loba na hot nene tina khayda da no da shedo is slane ade ni is in sla nila nizi Aden cases in the no da you hoda not energy a he ton hedini dole Junle not an yata di ni dae edini dit ne at en by de sin to eto shata is nili de basazin dole to sha is nili basazin dole arotho do is niligi topa ascidole sono hot on jono dasil nesto de quisia sil ke hona yes hatashi be da test hatashi nalsos chida test and eben dasil nestashi kheshinat ani nat lele da pesmans andat lele yeta hotes anna nalsos khadaisi nil ben dasil nation somansis kes hot o da ilya do ha shidi ben hat ane ton skend ton chon do din ni do ton nasi dishibi gatole ashtas yata beta inish hit ole asgata dil jahadi khwan jgonot o da dil nil khodo ni hot o jgono ta ilyan so somansis kes to a hen gedin de never Washington bandat nishigido na nishton le behes ani da betsanta hasnilo ta nishigi hot o bekhitn das nishigi jgono eta ilyan so bansis kes hot o yat ho eta ilya he eshiebe July 21st Buu Nygren that no da idio ne aro sto lede asoba hanast yeso the neked hat inigi jo le city ya yane da dan le hoje Crownpoint Youth Complex ta beda in nation de ya hot end sta asla the mil sa peso da ba onne shedo ya et is oze de ne do shike net je de dob kishin desh nes do bin da dil nes do din he peso la china da do zo shije bakhat shlit aro chota dil ni ne kaden jono at elsa hot open da shil nes so da case hot on jono da ilga ado to is ba hayanigita ende anda alga hot on da ajnish ado le hashtuido sani da chidebe na kehegi ende le yo toje bil khaz dojistam se betin de mil hone la chide silt egon jono ashon chide yada ehegi stuido sani khayabet da has anigin jono ashon ayat ehegin da zobin da sil nishe to he do le ado le the never Washington do yo toje bil khaz doje kha the mil do hone la da yese khoje is oze kin bitla apandot no di na kidmoye da ashon le chidena na ta tesh nish no besh khone dishi kushina de zilon jono kin ni le aj na nish haybayil godole lo khe dole din de kushi nendishni le nat adan sis keson le din na khaya da ba na hashne din na khaya da the never Washington that is khadne do le nat anin that le bik ash at jo yesit the kosen san khanel ni aro ye go binye cheda dilya allah bil saton le allah ta ne sergi do ni tandas pa hot o ta hil yani ki beta hil aro shitan taro etini de kad anda dil nil at enen knago kinda nas dragon le statin hot zog at en anda ya nikish ebinina do at era din ninde do at era nike anda dil nil don da asa the mo den benant aishle andel ya jona nishita ni dine don le khagoshi neto bigata da non legoshi de bigata ninde and yesit the na da shit zi ha sit set the ya da shit no biga ha shit nirata mo as don the khata mo as le hot o the nesh hata has zi hot end the nebenant da sho sage epe jo ben ye in do ben yen sindel ne stonal so sin tragi epe na ho ar epe de nei istole hot hot anda ilga ado hoto esjijo ha shi sar ho ado biga hata chegi da do shi ga he chegi da shke ho yanti khe hot end she hodlo bansis kesta na nis binyana es khane di da dil ni to bi di bin da dil nishkine Washington na he do na to di to asho ho wan la de dil se to asho da di to hodo ni ne aj de din shi go ha shi te an hot on da sil nish hunanat enigi not ani nada noch go July 21st Buu Nygren nada doch nido le yes do klinigi da doch no da hot ora ban sis kit osi yego be da so esto yego ben nache bohos do ade di na khega ha ishi det andobi ga ha ta honich njono yil nesto le joy khwebin ye na is kan dit o na da dil nestit o na neshalchena da dil ni no hoto bedenil nishige khe do le hoto da ne belgin da hos net do khweta da tladon ka alchin da bichi da tionle de nebanan ta do khaishle da del ka do da nis da har shi de neba Washington da nishen le nilche na nilche patient sick case ade de be da nis ne be hone ya ana itla do de neba Washington ade na nishbana dest ado asto hayuna nish na nishbet to hoyende hot o na nish de neba da hedest ado bichin da halge da ashon bohone ago te da des kirashon do let's say eto jed on the bail waslanne de karashon ashla peso da beta de des kido hot on na nishda ilga ende to bayat ken he ashon de neba Washington na nishin lengi be kai je jon he da to no khet o en kalchin khana he do kha khet o yeda net lido le chun le pel til da snel donne de pensade na nishiket khada da kha ashon bichin da halyegi dega hodat den hante state do bigat dan ne ashon bin dasil nisla dega hotel yago hoto ade ashon kadin den na so stara cha po ne cha hait o ben ye che hod dol nislo de bande stata no ka yeda ho kelchin ba det in so ban sis kes he yesin ke da not o de nebe ke ob ka hot on dasil nis adol to le khwada تودا لي كنيه بهاوتين لي se bide mil ke dest is hon sogo hol dol ni eshi hodina gon jone dol le kuin zoban sa kes aro tonde hojo old bel khaz anigi ende peso bcho anna kha peso bcho hol enigi belinda alkeln del nisho na kidel khan hanil yago hastat mil tag ad bcho hol idol ashon yat eon wen kalchen da ost khagi do bcho na hon dol le no aro tonde khareshi yo toje kha Georgia besta innisto bekeda nit oder hoja old khabes anigi nat ani dan ligi chenesti na has thanigi dat egi donle Governor Lujan the ada hot enigi na kids atta the milen sabin da as niskon jono kinal gagi lopa aha huin zindobe chan na nit lo esto ada gagi he hodo ni do le ado sonde na yizi da arende hot o so chidela banda has nigo betin da sil nis ado sonde anle dida hoz qazo le pesta bitan ahigi bitsaro chidan higi enden jono chedel yago ben da sil nis ado sonde da yo toje ha zoje ha one sa bechota dol nese end ashon sa ha one bechota yago ado sonde White Rock but no the hot enigi le yatnil onigi de sa izenko hot o ben da ajnischen so ban sis case adol tonle se bi de mil sa so ben nepes la ni nelodi to hat nenigi to bit de hoyegi ben da donnish nenigi ende hot o ben da ajnish adol tonle athin da bayat ke ende hoena sosen jono da bakagi altsede ya yane da na nishin de bat tende khela thin yinda dodnish khelan le khata hasanigi yinda hado khaton jono altsede dotli nenigi yin na nishin de tenne and the ashok a dego hot zan le hot enas na asade nes na tindne na nisbich hol yado bich in da halgenigi de dego hot al yado so chidna chidit so na pasigi bik be ohoido asigi end na tkin kadina da hos hoto nikhalchindon kedne ashon nda os kano hot oder na nisbich hot al ya eshi ol ya tina khayedan kedinin na ani da so sago khwana Kakhala hot elohet ola hajota bedil zil ada when da sil kana nishet tenda di athina yesid nebe keba kan na hot ohni cheta atleto le hat nido le na nishabat ten in the ashon na nisha has lingi en heda inson khansis kese he Aro stodle herfmanode in the le na kina he and dan sta the meal sa hone la Burnham Regional Water Supply, but no hot open that is Nishko, but that niche head or it out of the Standing Rock, the end a star the meal sand, the honey lat ho, ben that initial hot not the tat, ne, where Kate had any that Tobich hotas, Nenegi hot Jonon hin the seal, Nisharo le percenting the so ahona not all the person that ben yet not egg hot nada as Nisharo le Kapedine Nishigido Panza case in late 371 where Nanas Kinigin Jono Hardled no Eka Pentahonit Ahto Yendas Nishto where the Tatnas Little Anigi hate all adult need no the Bedine Nish also Lake Valley in the AR Ashon di Hawan Das Nigi Asa the Mil Hawan Bentasil Listishnene Eda Ashon Jono eta Iliada Banza case Ehoto Jono where Benago where Keda Honit Inigi Jono eta Iliado Nana do Leighton Soya John Le Sanda Bahada Le Hede the Nebenant Adan Yenana Loton Ye and Hone Nada Shdost Elta Noda Betanil Tenet or not Hanekich Honal Nende Aden the Ashon not Apen Kisnahosne Dietelia Tiben Dasilnish Debets Arabatahuil Aro Tie Hot O Nana do Late Queen so Eshi Hot O Bansis case in Le Tina Heda not answers Kezaha she at the snare Bagayet Ego at the more not later Ben Kis Nashnet Asana Hatch the Tit on Sago Nata Ilga Nenegi Ashon Hot O Shita Honit Ahigi Beninato on the hunt on the seal nation so Bansis case a hehe July 21st, Buu Nygren, nada do nido le. Aro sto kwaya le kwaya not so that the bakagi at iso bach ohdish atigi le tin bayat kigi de yobach in hash atro et said at the nebeke bakach in ho nanigi ako atin to Besh the chi yat nil only besh with job but I don't know nishkate all that old late queen tinigi AI yes ben dashil nation so ban sis case di na heje na nishel tonda deal netige the nes not the million san jono at and head then that nishigi da bich hota dos nilan jono that the nishigi hot o ben yech eta diga se bide khana nil yago hot o ndasil nishi eshin all the na Washington da bidil na don da sik as do ashon yizeko hot o di khahegin jono ta di nit zoban sis case lende not adan saha case in the hot ena asadenes not tin the mil san le the nebeke abakat and be that is nish and Le do hatan sta di na heje not an in that later at this din of us start the meal sa hunza gode be nata nishnek ade start din is not in the meal sa be to nish so ben hasha yesepeta huil zata do noye ashon heda yenel anigi yen sekesigi yenet lenigi honne natta hon jono kenne shiso Washington nahil do snat nene hot o ta ilgan so ban siskes ebe a hehe nan hidi nila ho di na hayeda nat an ita sosla aro hot o ben dasil nishgi hehe do le aro sto leda ban siskes so da le the never care of a car at that no di is a how one they had net and the dish le the never care of a car the na shada hi yes it atinda sin jono da sildes yes in jono da iliande ati ballaho how one ati the nated and le astansia sat the mil sarob ate iliande eto as up walk the never Washington asahat ida le old trapel da has aro zeil in da das agon le betzada hast na niste yos gerige at in der kinna wit sogo how one asad the mil ob honne la azga jobeni nat sage the never Washington na so sta no tehgi skinlo da no tego ashon keya bekhada has zohigi jono do bchin da hon tabe landa ile hoto eta ilyan so ban sis case end not other ban sis case only Dina Hayadan Annes Naha one Ninel Ashayat Italy Sita in Shidole Tato Nene Asa the Mido Adok Asa the Neta Noe Jurkas the Nea Sika Dieta Nestlina Nan Shananta Achet had the mil one dinner a shlat the mil one nadi neta nod eshi all ye the Nechanata Osne, the Neba Washington, Yanata Outleader, Ashora, the Neba Washington, in the Adolate Winter, Shin said in this, would I die? Na kid the meal, the sninde, Kadea, see the Yeta nest, the meal, a slat the meal, that no, the ha, she the not, at say the yet die at nest, nade, that need the hot on the, she old, yeah. The Neba Washington, she night the scars, le, she flopping in that, the yo, the shah, the did on a Nishita Iliagi, to Panjagato, Chi Lagoshe, to Shed, that just kid and they are. In the Toba, Edishla, Ila, a hot end, she added a sad, the Hashnil Araban, yet and so, Josheto, Bahanaste. Between Slinigi, where he hossi credo and catching honoro, that is a massana honoro, you, but Kevin Stinido, she ate and then get to at the toy button the has, Trado, basically chi bandas, Trado, how one does it at the death, the dish to the Iketa hat in, at the Iketa hat, a ho, only she be a hatch and needle letting soda, not up on Siskes, see ye, on Jonoto, Nahot, Eodo, yat, how that oh they hot oh sad has dot and this hot oh has dot just and so on this case and the hot oh the in shadow to the kid least at the halzinja national nirige bansis case haila another deal nicho kadeaita ye go shike getato ito nan shita ilyagi do pet epet ingi din nas hote shirge where kehonot ingi do panago kehonot ingi endishni di bahades tigi si pe hoto netigi di dabakaigi ashtashi yese o sa besmas anye landa isli e bash khojro le bansa ha keso le neznatin hone la behes ani khadliago ya letnat ani shlene nishligo neznade sisko khadlia e khwa betet in jrono beta ilya le nahast etino ba hone la to shikijna annesto bi gahado di da haut should not ani dish letende the nebenant abels aji not ben be his ani hidden here that the soben del nishanenigi nchon soban sis case ebenina dika the neb but the nebe besmas an yete jegi ye gondalka dabadoski het o the nebenant abel ye dizin het o be kesen zero het o nalt sos be his ani hadel dole het o to peso banchint dole het o to ben in daslo the nebenant abel hund o do na hand hod the nebe ke be kan khail nishtole dabadoh non da os karton da itos kit kadesin kit bata hozen khela yes shikije nas nisto khela yes ton khan has na halon kike nas nis eshe tota dole shon hoja sha apohone zanigi beche hononigi khojo pa bint igi yes ba da dio nis kheshi de jega shode nan hinch kantole just at the neta no sin Washington da si kazo di to sahona ligado di to hajo chairman da judanan bichitande di khato di to da ne chayen da she hodoban sis kese the ne ni bandesh nishnenegi the ne bahad ilkhojo ba bint igi the ne to ha shi shire beshit no in zenegi the ne de bandesh nishnenegi digi de honne ni lobiga to lecho the neba Washington not ani the need lenigi tatnas nile pesmas ante neba natato hashi she hit the lohi janes that did not na ne khat nihet o the ne benal kheta nit le khit ola njono bata did nit so hot enigin sita kese shonda hey hot enigi bata dio nechudi hodo ba hanana stigi be hodo nefigi Besmas an die Keten da zondo hot o de da doni din de hwe din na hayna ba ya da so kinyat egi hot sagin jono yido zin no de endet at die bonne zan so ban siskes ha ishe bin yeli na ne jorge na nishta patin da has ado hot haut egi khwayet is zozen jono kinizeko hot o na nishko no jo aita ol trabi ga hasa anigi khwayet nenda is kha ayirgo na nishba da hedet bohne zan so ban siskes ebinina besh bahasa an na ahegi hoekin dot ato na sos kada destit aro de nebenan tapian des sosiela dot aro do na hon ago yen dot nis nenegi hot enegi ba da dio nes Aros dort leder leder nebe keo bekada sa shi hoda no edo sa shi ke edan ke bada hausen yese has twido sani de asa hon da has tra hela ba hodo ga to hela beke des idol no dida tse le to ba yat ke shek abohne zan so ban sis ke spe hodo nelgi aita ben ke so hon besh ba sa an peso yata tlegi to ha shi na beke ta sto at beda yanta it ahigi to hajod nebedant ab kes tinigi has twido sani bata hayanigi ash blagot the nebe ke baka de zon jonodo le so ban sis kes yes na nishta hato le Kelchin sila zeden de kato zeil in dan linigi go hwe has twido sani bike dest indo ba hayago jono yat eho de zon shla hot sago de nebe ke baka jo ba hato lege ashladines na tin de mil sar ze ba hato le kad when has kanige ayo hodat en somban sis kesen lek at besmas on January ya nana khego dinal sos ditla bayan nil sos do ye landa is slik hona hot hot as nisosha says hadas kan de nebeke baka aro aslan nana khego adal yag hoto ani da nidole gas twido sani ba khanigi yat hodez na nishta has litolit aro to let o de yesepeso yete hot enigi kindas nilo anche de bil zego sho anche peso betel hoto de la peso thanas nilo bechonana idole quinto shodo le pesma sa an hoton se kesigi nige cases zinigi hoton jono do le July 21st Aro sto le bachina has le sto le hoto le nas nishinde kinya danit inigi ashon hot sago san dahido nes end a slago ni nilon soban sis case but the garnic apartment complex de shnile le had la shagando le sashi hota not en kelchin khoden de staton le paul thada de shle khojda shaul thada do le khojda ashon ke hun stid hot end ayi de go hawan ya hot egi paelin do yo hotta ho paelin gi dan zoda hoto slago ni nilon soban sis case end a stada ze Dines not tin the miln sa bahato le jono yat de zego hot open dasil nison jono do le so roban sis case hoto nihin na aro ni old tapet da has ango da din nidin the bahastigi na kida hinani yago hoto peso but hotal ido hoton kin catchin aji get out tado ho one bahallo do alchinias be da hallo alchinias babke destigo da hallo hoto jono da ostkan jono do le soban sis case ende but in the hashin jono ba hosh atlo ba yashtegi be hoto nitigi besh mas anda hot on se kesigi juk ade hot di be lata di tle hot en di Buu Nygren na hashi ahad bedin sindol da hashi the nebe bedaben il ebini now do be la di tle hat nenege di anit ende the nebenan ta besh mas antra nas nelo to hweda na keya bakada nat ani dan nit nenegi the nede ba hat enigi aj de ta nit biga to listen so ban sis kes Aro stot le the never care about and I not bet hadit ayan le ade ashon do had not ani shle da a shlatzat that since the tago de team gedest in the ade ashon ti khagi Hatin since the tago tatnas the level belke hoit inigi ar jonot kin chedel idle nenigi ahot end nas night is taliban sis kes and le aita keya bata hot in le the never care about hastago le tin jono betn has ago whether chidena nanda zido na nishida aita kin banda has ago the never care about jono de zigoyashon do aro asa keil kida ar na nishida halor din the hotenle New Mexico dot maintenance yards yido sapan has Arizona de hote nahisha ha ish ebin na do hot eda da di nigi end peso bahato le is not as in that kid is not in the meal sa hot end the hot on jono but has ango the go le pesh and le tinda beyond das the go ched a when das no ched das in the late winzingi end but the house did a stashi hoje joba hanast the nebenant large das zido large na ado the ne no senigi ye lastly adeto be case zido le nenigi dinde be kere ba na ba hanade stigi ashode a hot on sita kesigi hot on da o kato bisin da nishigi ede ba da dio ne Aro sto de sto ke bendahuit agi so le naz tlonshi be da halonigi do ta ke khada be di losto de ke den agi and I yesibich tahndi khobi gato len so and I yesiquid the meal sans gono banda hasnil hot on kalchin nada no setligi do sashin kalchin aita cheheta on sa da peso be hota yagon gono tak and the hasleto na tlonshin jono da bahada hodet oder be kha il ye dat edele twinzinigi ye go hotzelo da di lidat and the nebeke ba kan jono na tlonshi da hato leto be test e pe kashi de pedat enigi hot o kalchin don hida da no senigin jono be test e to be inaj do letigi e hot o yat e honso epe tlo paheldenigi yago do kitten so bansiskes kadena tindo ba hone la pahelne an hin kitak eto ye go thatli go hodot jotak enda hasnio to an hin danil ta e paheldenigi ye yago hoto nin so bansiskes e hoto yas tegi July 21st I don't know dai dio ne the Gallup Indian Medical Center de Bahanas Tinle Ata na Kiskande and they not Sosin Stande Nichina Kiddo le Cherokee but Nenegi e ape a Schladenes not tin the Middle Sa Hone Ninilla Zeich in Apenina ha ish ebinan hedo hodanit eda be hotoya sitades case on the here hone person da sit nila but aro na nishta hodo le banagon jono hodol nito na nishodno le aro top nache peso hita hit le but aro peso idole da no yeta hotes aji chitati nehisha le kadle stashi Washington or sanastato kenashishinde Tibahado lesgia sito bigata dane na the meal so the Tibahado leta no the yintaha Hashet o in Hinley, Washington, New York City in the Aita pesos sozi bitsaros and kait nilasha an nikizeil in peso white nilon jono hahodil yago na nishhodol Tha the meal that's in the nen linigi na nish bitch hodol nish aro yat eho zeil in hot sagi he is biga to let aro stop le salat soda no linigi end jono biga hasa zeil in bahas ango hotodon zago benyen as data do le hat no da end ben dahuit eto nit so ban this case is even yet on New York City la peso to set sos khwaye an khail nishobiga to le en le peso na chegi den na kirines na tina ze the mil sa hone la an na ha bitsado il ehni do da jinzen da loten so na ban this case hoto ben nada huit ado kede be khades chegi Judy where in all Trabach in Ashon the Neba Washington and Del Yago in all Jo hoto ye dense Hane land peso ya nahin tepo Washington din the statin hahotzoge ye dense halet ole beded nesado Hane land the nenda is nido hoto yen del kagi she holope nash kagi Tin the meal sabe the hotza a hot bitsano bitsano in all tranta hit like has tardines not tin the meal sabe the hotza hot end at end it can now it's asana heje a start hat the meal so hunzagon jono the nature horse in dot the nena is ne dot hot a hinte is card hot on that is nin sorobansis case a hot end the enal tage asladines not tin was 13 was se beat the milsa ya nanite diba yashtegi zeil inland dahasni kinda kidanit inigi dnei da baganigi do zeil inda stwido sani banda has anigi eta ya aro kediba hadestegi le dnebe keba ka lao dnen khan da hakka el harashi kushi da milsan khan nadaka e betzara ha yupe sonda hitlago betzaro peso nahi lotlage kinyadat ego hada del yag e betzaro edesno peso betzanda hedit like ende ashtadenes natin de milsa ende bechol yaga biga han soban sis kesenle kenin di shade Monmouth Valley Four Corners le chido le hag shilabat khata hastrogi e hoton jono hada del yag e annehi di enal kha ashlatnache Nes nana de bansis case di astada tin the milso chidesil in dot never care of kanj no hahodil yago ti na hego diga chinies the hun has thanigi natin benachego thatin the benachego dido aha shi I chido enal thaya nahin teto nes nana hego did not on did not on sinane case diga not let nes na are nes nana heden saha case Alla de milso na kid de milso hone lasha enal khaya nanya nahin te e ashon jono be na anistele kade hashi nika Washington al chido kushi de mi kuidishi nes na tin de milsa de ya nahin te adesha na kid de milso ya nahin te e ashon jono diba yedel tigi ballaho nikachin baha hodet edole zoban siske Dindik and the Washington, the Chenaiji Kantar, a sape sobe, the hodol listen, Cheheta di Nithe, the unheaded, all day unhick in the deal, so they don't need Zoban Siskes, Shaw Kedish, Sarben kitchen, other Dishia is by yes, Kigi, Jorkin, as kitten the house, your net door kitten the house now, Behodo, Nit Eshito, and Le Heshito, Dohajo Helabash, Ada no Sinigi, Diego Ban Sita case, Hadelana, Nishita ila, Ha Ishita Gilago, Ha Ishe Behodo, Nilto, Ha Ila Benata Hoja, Anate, Shlita, Nenegi, Nkek and Hodo, Hanengich Ishta, Dit on the shieldness, Ebedit on Hojonana Dole Queen Zinigi, Ash Hodo Hodon Gitchena Inchka. Buu Nygren, July 21st, I don't know, as Kate the dot on Juno, set nan that dot, a hehe, and Gedini Dole.
Yeah, 4 more years, Buu Nygren. Yeah. 4 more years. 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 I can't head all the doors line so color. Thank you very much. I can't answer. Couldn't let John it was on hints. This guy's really hot. So I had it out about say here. They the top bali that's not pass. He be shawl. I could shot a squib blanket. Mr. James. I gave a cover of Tesh Korea. I owe this to go. It was 108 degrees yesterday. I can't again one more time. I can't. I didn't go out so kage. Get my voice.
Well, one of the things I think while he's getting his laptop ready, I wanted to kind of explain a little bit in English for our non-Navajo speakers. Is really, I want to say thank you. It's such an honor to have been your president for the past 3 years and 6 months. Every single day, I really appreciate that. And one of the things, as I mentioned in Navajo, was that I've got the energy. I'm still just as hopeful that I was 4 years ago. And I truly believe that we can get a lot more done in these 4 years if you give me that opportunity. And just the way we've worked hard over the past 4 years, laser focus, and we never got distracted because you all wanted to see things get done. And that's the way I'm asking for your help, your support, and your prayer, because hopefully you still believe in me and I still believe in you. And let's continue to move things forward. And I just really want to commend all of you for being in this room. And I know that I take this job very seriously because, as I mentioned in Navajo, 10 years is going to come by really quick. 20 years is going to come by really quick. And now is the time to make these critical investments in our community, in our nation. Just as I mentioned in Navajo, I know it's really complicated to talk about taxes, revenues coming in. Right now, chapters only get thousands of dollars, right? It might be 100,000, 200,000, 300,000, whatever the number is. That's because it's based on how much revenue is coming back into the nation. But imagine 10 years from now, if these investments that we're talking about, that the nation is able to bring in $1 billion, $2 billion, $3 billion in taxes, we would be able to distribute not only hundreds of thousands, we would be able to distribute millions and millions of dollars to the chapters because the need is there. We would be able to even do more investments that's truly needed in all of our communities. As you can see, Albuquerque, Phoenix, and a lot of these big metropolitan areas, they raise bonds, they raise taxes, they do all these sorts of creative ways to invest in their nation and their communities because they know that the nation's got to bring a lot of these larger business activities so that the smaller businesses can be successful. Imagine if we had more apartment complexes. Imagine if we had that clinic. Imagine if the Eastern Agency office that I was talking about in Navajo. Imagine if that was actually here. Fast forward. Imagine how much work Victoria's Pizza would get. There would probably be more people in this room. There would probably be more shops all the way up and down Crownpoint. And that's what I mean. Big government needs to do big investments so that the smaller businesses, the smaller economies can grow and we can further develop. So again, I really want to say thank you. It's an honor for me to be here. And again, all I'm saying is I'm ready to go. I've learned a lot over these past 3 years and 6 months. I know a lot has been said, as I mentioned in Navajo, that had started within the first week of reopening the nation. And since then, I haven't been distracted. And I think that's what you need in a Navajo Nation president is you need a president that will be laser focused on the issues, the challenges, and not take it personal. Because anytime I hear criticism, anytime I hear anything, I don't ever look at it in the lens of, so I always think about it in terms of maybe there's something that I'm not seeing. What is it? Let's take a look at it. And then after we look at it, if it doesn't make any sense, we don't bother with it. But there's times when there's actually something that does make sense. So we make those adjustments. And that's the type of leader you need is whether they voted for you or not, you don't take it personal and you make it a mission to try to improve the lives of our communities. And I truly believe that's how we've been able to accomplish a lot of things. Because some people are talking, man, you must have just been there at the right timing and all these things have happened. And to me, the way I think about it is just we basically just use the old concept of and seeing the good in everything and the good in everybody. Even to this day, some people question like, si honilana, how come you're still working with these types of people? Maybe because they have a different skill set. Maybe they got a different idea. And so things like that, that's the concept that I've brought to the office of the president over the past 3 years and 6 months. And it's been the honor of my life. And I think that we can do a lot more. There's so much more work that we can get accomplished. We got the government reopened. We've done a lot of things in workforce development, and even some of the younger people that I've talked to them. I said, by the end of the year, human resources, accounting, and a lot of the processes will all be digital. And that's something that people have talked about for years and years and years. And the Navajo Nation government is going to be almost completely digital by the end of the year. And that's us really making people uncomfortable and learning from some of those areas. Again, even timesheets. I know some of the Navajo Nation employees have been struggling with it, but we're thinking long-term. We're thinking long-term. And by the time, and some of them say, we don't have service, President. You're not thinking about us that don't have service, but we've been able to secure almost $285 million in BEAD funding and broadband technology. And with the nation putting up some dollars and getting additional grants, within 3 years, we're going to have deployed $500 million, and we're going to have 5G. We're going to have fiber. We're going to have wireless towers. We're going to be one of the most connected areas in the United States of America. And that's what we're striving for. And 3 years is going to come so quick. So again, there might be some challenges with some people saying, President, why are you trying to go completely digital? We're not completely connected, but we're going to be completely connected in 3 years with some of the work that we've done. And even some of those scenarios where people ask, like, why were you really pursuing broadband technology and some of these grants? And now I look back on it, a lot of people said, hey, why are you wasting money and resources on trying to apply for grants and all that other stuff? But now we look back on it, we're getting $300+ million, and that was well worth it. But imagine if I would have listened to criticism, right? We wouldn't have secured those dollars. Those dollars would have probably went somewhere else. And the same thing, we talk about housing, because when I took office, it was normal to build a house for $700,000, $800,000. We brought the cost of housing down to $200 a square foot, $200,000, $150,000 within that realm. So to me, those are some of the things that we should be so proud about. But a lot of times people focus on the little things that are just obviously the contract disputes that are going on and a lot of those things. But as president, what we did is we took a lot of calculated risks. Do you just think about how many homes we've been able to build? Just think about how many water lines, how many electrical connections, how many towers went up, how many grants, and just the way we've taken this approach is we've taken a lot of calculated risks. Because 4 years ago, as I mentioned in Navajo, I was going to go in there and make decisions, because most of the time a president will go in there, they spend 4 years saying, will this get me reelected? If I make this decision, is everybody going to get mad at me? Am I going to be looked at differently? I went in there and I said, regardless if I get elected or not, if I get reelected or not, I'm going to make these decisions because these decisions are in the best interest of the Navajo people. And if they don't see it these 4 years, they're going to see it. And when they look back at a time, say, remember when President Nygren made that decision? He made that decision and he didn't care what the naysayers were saying. But now we're seeing the benefits. And that's the type of leader that you need. You need leaders that will just look at everything and then make a decision. And that's all I'm asking for is, again, give me a chance again, because a lot of you have said, you know what? You're allotted 8 years. Let's give you 8 years. By reelecting me, you're going to give me 8 years, and we want to continue to change the direction of the Navajo Nation. For far too long, like a lot of you said, we were used to, even our veterans would only get three homes were started in the previous administrations. And this year, these 4 years, we're going to build over 116 homes for our veterans. We're going to be able to deploy more resources and dollars for our veterans, and we've really streamlined a lot of those processes. So again, all across the board, we've done a lot of good work, but again, we've got a huge plan moving forward as well. So again, I want to say thank you for being here. Thank you for having your interest in our campaign. But campaigns are won by one vote. So I need you to talk to people. I need you to communicate with them. I need you to plead with your kids, your relatives, and say, this campaign is so critical. Don't say, oh, president's just going to hurdle the primaries because he's the president. Don't think that. We've got 10 days. We've got to work. We got to work so hard over these next 10 days and get every vote out, whether it's an early vote or if it's you on election. If you early vote, find a chapter and say, you know what, I'm going to help the president today. I'm going to cover this chapter today on election day. All I have is coffee, cowboy coffee. That's all I'm going to serve at the chapter house is cowboy coffee. And I'm going to tell people, vote for Buu Nygren and let's get him 4 more years, because we've seen real tangible results. And that's one of the things I've been telling people is, like, you can see all the things that we've worked on. And that's what you should ask of your leadership. So again, I want to close again here in English, again, just for some of our relatives that might not have understood what I said in Navajo. But again, and that's the other thing, we think about Denebazad, right? We always say honor, respect Denebazad. Under my leadership, under this administration, we've distributed thousands of Navajo language books to our community members. We've worked with our pastors. We worked with our Tathis. We worked with our Native American church leaders. We've worked with language specialists to really try to deploy more resources. But there's still more work to be done, because we got to make sure that how do we How do we go from our radio station being back completely 100% Navajo? I want to see KGAK 100% Navajo, KTNN 100% Navajo, KNDN 100% Navajo. I want to see our kids have access to shows and televisions that are all in Navajo. And that's one of the things I want to work on in the next 4 years is I want to be able to be so proud of and to go to a YouTube channel and have shows that are all in Navajo because we've invested that. And that's what our kids need. We want to make sure that language is so accessible. And that's why we've made it a mission every Thursday. Some of you asked, what's the hardest part of being Navajo Nation president? It's every Thursday. Every Thursday is the hardest part of being Navajo Nation president. But we've gotten a lot smarter with it because I used to dread it because to be able to speak Navajo for 20 minutes was really overwhelming. And I thought, how the heck am I going to get this done for the whole time? And we've gotten it done for 168 weeks. I have not missed one radio show. That's accountability. That's transparency. And that's really trying to invest in our language and our culture because we've been able to bring on Navajo language teachers, language specialists to help us, to support us, because a lot of you are saying we want to hear language. We want to hear different vocabulary. We want to hear different types of things on the radio. And that's some of the things that we've been able to bring to you all. But again, I want to say thank you. God bless you. And again, I need your help. I'm telling you, I need your help. We can't take July 21st for granted. So before you leave today, grab some rally signs, grab some extra palm cards, and wear your t-shirt. If you get a t-shirt, grab a t-shirt, wear your t-shirt. Remember, wear undershirt though. If you wear an undershirt, you can wear that shirt every day. So you just got to change your undershirt every day for the next 10 days. So just change your undershirt and then keep wearing your other shirt on top. But again, we need your help. We need your support. But again, first and foremost, thank you for your prayers. Thank you for your support. Because everywhere I go on Navajo, you guys always say, hey, what's up, babe? What's up, babe? You're doing a good job. We appreciate you, Che, Nali, Shiyaz, Shiyet, whatever the hate, Oshibek. You guys come up to me. And that really means a lot to me because those are words of love and compassion. And that's what has been able to get us to do a lot of the work that we've accomplished. And as I have also mentioned in Navajo earlier, yes, out of let's say we just take 100, we take, well, get a sneak. I don't want to leave you hanging, okay? I don't be too mad at I didn't even shake my hand. So earlier I mentioned in Navajo, I said, imagine there's 100 pieces of legislation. Yes, about 10 of them were really good legislations that I signed off in the council, and that's how we've been able to accomplish a lot of things. But what if the other 90 pieces of legislations were just like the first 10 legislations? And that's where I mentioned we need to elect council delegates that know their role, because I know my role as president. My role as president, because as president, you represent the entire nation. You represent all the people, their wills, their thoughts, their voices, and you spend 4 years trying to be their voice. But then you're hit with the council. Now, for 3 years and 6 months, I didn't complain about it because I knew I couldn't do anything about it. But now I'm going to the Navajo people and I'm saying, elect council delegates that will honor and support your voices by supporting the Navajo Nation president. Because all these things that I want to get done, it's going to cost billions of dollars. It's going to cost efforts to make sure that we pass laws and policies that make sense so that we can deploy these quickly and fast. And that's where we get a council that says, you know what? We're just going to back the president. Whatever the president is the voice and the will of the people, we're going to support him. Whatever he needs, whatever he wants to get done. He wants nursing homes. He wants apartments. He wants a hospital. He wants 1,000 wells to be drilled all of Navajo. He wants to support our farmers, our ranchers. He wants to increase the economic development, the taxes, the dividends. He wants more retail spaces. He wants more economic development and tourism destinations. And it's going to cost billions of dollars. Yes, President, we will pass legislations and policies and laws and put dollars to it so you can go get that done as quickly as possible. And that's the kind of delegates you need to elect, because no matter how good your president is, if you don't get a delegate that thinks like that, we're going to be in the same boat again that we are. But thankfully, like I said, thank you again. Some of the delegates, I think some of them are saying I'm not giving them enough credit. I wouldn't have been able to get a lot of these things done without you. And I want to say thank you. But we could have got a lot more done. We could have probably got 10 times this amount done if we would have just said, hey, he's our president. But instead, you see legislations to remove me, to strip powers from the president, to move offices and all these other things. The legislative branch is to legislate. The executive branch and the president is to go serve the community and the people and to execute those laws. And that's how it should be. So again, July 21st and on November 3rd, vote for council delegates that will not just say, again, this is what happens before I jump into it. What happens is that the Nipakero, now we have 26 delegates, right? So now 26 presidents. You got 24 delegates that want to be president. You got the actual president. And then as you see, some other people want to be president too. So now you got 26 people running around trying to be the president. That's not, if they wanted to run for president, they should have been running right now for president. They decided to run to be a legislator, to be a council delegate. So let's make sure we vote in council delegates that will support us, because you, the people in here, you don't elect me to say, hey, that's not, you don't elect the president for. You don't elect the president and say, hey, I need you to go beg the council delegates for the more homes, more electricity, more housing, better roads, better economic development. That should already be here. We don't need to be begging anybody for that. And so that's why I'm saying July 21st, November 3rd, vote for council delegates that will legislate projects and make things quick and roll things out quicker so the president can do his job. So again, that's what I wanted to share in English. And I want to say thank you. Thank you so much. God bless each and everyone. Let's hear it for Victoria's Pizza too. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. And thank you for supporting all of us again. And that's one of those things. I've made it a big effort to really continue to support our Navajo businesses all the way through. But again, former officials, I see some of you in the room, and former leaders in the room as well too. Again, I want to say God bless each and every one of you. Let's enjoy the rest of the evening. Thank you.
Dr. Buu Nygren, yeah. Tahe de yan ke le shani station. Hedan ti de he. Dona ken lego do bena te kido konda. Na so te za abenda as nishan hom baka do cheneko. If you want to get a copy of it, just all free. They jegi bichada what they no sundoles. Kodo yo chido. And one thing I want to let you know, here's what's going to happen. Next 4 years, pa nada di nes. These are the ada hede da hona nana kako de hanna jistoles. Do sanade do tlisaten. Hanaho adoles. Ako di kuzi Dr. Buu Nygren and Juno hot lejo ila le de it's hotoles. That akon leben da as son Juno da liado. Another 4 years as she no as that konan she dodlins. Ako din needed kunana kage just on his skin. She ya go ya. Is that so clean house with the slitne? That's a thought. That's it needs not any, that's it not go now. There's ash. The never tried this start and the house can't listen. Is indeed the what Adam. The nahini dojo pines and that nahini do bajo bada. Batchin yandadnish. Porque has agi yandar lesnan tlon sabe da hadlo hojo badens no deadnish hadi ben ye yan hojo shotoles. Ahot agi start this is Aaron the Dr. Buu Nygren ye had zida. Toto wins and that could never pass or park on the kiss. Ako I anas what the solete ko de khela kare ya Sherlyn Sosie Brown, Yolia, Korongi Chinana Zedal, Bekere, Victoria Pizza, but Anta Itanigi edit a quadolis, Bekere. I don't know, Bekere, veteran Baho, Gistol, we have a representative, a Willie Freeland, English heart here. Haka, Charlene, because you get out of and 3 minutes.
3 minutes. Yate! Oh, Yate Crownpoint. I no Kegi Eastern Agency. Shea Charlene Sosi Brownie and Shada Kachin in Schlotra by Bushes Chin. The Bethlehem Dasha Chedo, Tratnik Sunny Dashanella. Otto Nihinat Ani, Dr. Buu Nygren, a Banashlish. Kada Dinaha Banashlish. Do yo. Bashel Banashlish. Do Aquija. Non-nation lineage. AI yesi cases do ni dened lineage yo shetlayot do shetlabada jobae ako ebeka nashwa o hot anashlish le ha achigod keya bahasogi hot atzizgod adnejani hasido. But hello, good afternoon, everyone. Are you guys doing good? Oh, yeah, my name is Charlene Sosi Brown. I am I work for President Nygren, but I'm here today as a volunteer, and I'm here to tell you guys what a magnificent, kind, compassionate, smart president that we have. Do you guys agree? Yes. So he has done a lot for the Navajo Nation, and as I'm working for him, I've done a lot to try and push for Eastern Agency. We have the Church Rock Senior Center that's reopened, and that senior center was closed for 2 years, and I was doing constant meetings with Daltex and with Department of Health, and it's going to finally reopen. Dine in, where people can actually walk in, sit down, grab a warm meal on Monday. So that's something that I'm really proud of, because it's for our elders. Ni chedo, ni masanedo, ni nullus tido, ni nullus san. E njonogo nada dito kuna ya nakaho. Ado did le Crownpoint de koja. By the election office and land office. There's a new modular building that's going to go up. They've already cleared the land and they've done the placement for it. So and there's going to be 5 offices that will be moving in there. That's something that the Crownpoint has been asking for. That's another thing that I've had constant meetings with division directors and with the departments on, and the chapter officials. So starting this coming week, you'll see people coming in and putting up that building over there. So by Hansen. So today I just want to keep it short. I don't time again. So Dini not on in Linigi. He is telling his workers like myself to continue to work for the Navajo Nation, for the Navajo people, and that's what we've been doing. I appreciate everybody that's here today, especially the youth and the elders and everyone in between. You guys mean a lot to us. And so we work hard for you every day. And that's the only thing that I feel like is on his mind is what he can improve for the Navajo Nation, what he can do next, and all these projects that have been pending are finally going through from the past. On July 21st, you're going to vote for President Buu Nygren, number 13. Case. That's been our mission, our goal going into the future. So let's keep that up for 4 more years. Vote President Buu Nygren. And what do you guys think about that? Oh, yeah. My time is up.
Are man stuchang hitana da kadoha anda. Aro kehado le Sherlyn Sosie Brown according to Hatzi. Aro kehado le kakos anigi to the pizza. Every week pizza day, danke. 4 more years of with Edoles Victoria. After. Ako kare Victoria, but Victoria. It's a Hana. Step over here, Victoria, right here.
Hello, everybody. Yate, she Victoria Largo, she Ani, she Katachini, Bashashin. I am related to all of you, no matter what. You are all my brother and sisters. And out of respect, I don't go above my elders. I have a lot of respect for all my elders that are here. So I just want to say, thank you. And I'm speaking here on behalf of Eastern Agency. Many years, a lot of you have known that we had lost a lot of businesses here in Crownpoint. I don't know if some of you heard about Circle K being here, Taco Bell being here, KFC being here, Palmer's being here, Western Stores being here. A lot of business, Arviso gas station being here. A lot of business has failed. Why? Is because it seems that as many people that we have here is very limited, and business was really hard back then. Money was really hard back then. And me being back then I was young. I was just one of the little kids running around Crownpoint. Looking at back then, I thought, is there really hope for business here in Crownpoint? It was a lot of people say, there's nothing in Crownpoint. There's a ghost town. There's no business in Crownpoint. There's nowhere to eat, nowhere to have dine-in restaurant or something like that here. But ever since the NTU College had came to Crownpoint, and I thank the president for really, really getting the school going here at the NTU. I see a lot of the students graduating, a lot of students that have come from afar. Some come from Shiprock, Kayenta, Tuba City, Chinle. They're all here in Crownpoint. And they also got to taste the pizza here. I meet and greet a lot of people here at Crownpoint. Thank you. Thank you. And so I really, like Mr. Buu Nygren was saying about the hotel here, how much business it would bring to the economy here in Crownpoint. It will bring jobs for the people, jobs for the youth, jobs for the students from culinary arts, jobs for construction for a lot of the students that are graduating. So there's a lot of things, but I want to speak on behalf of Buu Nygren. I've known Buu since so many years ago when he was running for vice president, and it goes that far back, and promises that he had talked about back then, and said, one day if I ever become president, I'm going to be there for my people. And back then he was not a president yet, and then we voted him in, and look at the results that we got. 4 years. And 4 years is not enough. We need to continue more. We wish we could do 20 years, but imagine what we would get done. Imagine. So it takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of a struggle to get a lot of things done. The Navajo Nation is the biggest nation. We're the biggest Navajo Nation. And to have one man here control the Navajo Nation as big as it is deserves an applaud. He deserves it. Because he's directing a lot of things, the economic, the development, everything that goes on the Navajo Nation. He is the one who's taking care of our community and the whole Navajo Nation. So I can only imagine how how tired, you can get tired. But another thing that I want to bring up is the internet, how the internet can be so negative, can put something out there and we believe it right away. We need to stop believing the negative and start looking at the positive, because the negative is not going to get our nation anywhere. We need to think about the positive that's going to get our nation somewhere. So I'm not talking only about me. I'm talking about the future for my grandchildren and my great-grandchildren that are going to come. So I'm speaking on behalf of that. So I just want to say thank you, Buu, and thank you for his beautiful wife for being there to support him as a mom, as a wife. And, it's a lot. But I just want to say, thank you. And thank you, all of you that are out there on social media. Thank you for supporting Victoria's Pizza.
Yeah, Buu Nygren, yeah. Le to de gande sa ilwo da hey za ti de ben yan kanat an ben ya. To so ho liet en hat la ho liet as kon ho liele Ship Spring. Shanin le Chicago ni bigot da ho lian. Hagoshima Caroline Sandman yo liele aida. That's a long way. 5 hours drive. That's a kudo. Cho kuna zanti the ba huin in the o lia ha huin in.
Ja, neske no seniko asani klinike. Kudo aha dan so shin san klini be hatisti. Yo hashin so way shit is age kudo shinantai. Kudo shididits. Anili and Rich can Linigi Hatsi. She's working with the elderlies, yeah. Oh, Adria, Nodnish. A kohashin sago. Gian Linigi, food and Linigi, Beso, Nizan Tahas Kalda, no e Hutan Kiltahne. Ada in Nikola. Doyo Kong Asade Hona Shada. But Nashan Law, I want you to look into that, to make sure that we have enough money for all of our elderly to be fed out in all the agencies. You say, "Be this thing, so even you have this city." I don't know that share. The Hansen case, the Kiso Kojugo, Benetgo need Linigi. Oh, how you done, who want done Linigi to your case? But I drove by renovation that Jetan. Hola ara tin and I that end do hot errands. Neje not neje ya in hats in law in Hatasun Tashin and I. But not in law. Oh, how you ne? But I drove by got a bagon. Should all day when star even na in dishne. Anna had seen a sayas and she is gin leg got a bathroom, the kitchen go. Push it had a husband. Hajala is the Hajala Tishne. Hawandana renovate or don't need. At Nakinahata, a coebony na a Hashin Sakwishit is ashen and I could have been had this thing so ye. A could ya torture agency, Shipra agency, Ashadon Habanson case. Oh, I had the last toy, but do the Holloda. Oh, I use this so how Zanjigo 45 agency Asgo aya. So last time and Linigi Hogamba and the Niso this. I listen to you mostly every Thursday. Dides I did aya, Shanahat at no. I got a young kitchen and I Linigi, a cocojo Shabra agency in Linigi. So last sort oh, I you but I drove by it. She went Linigi Hotaba, Joba and La Albuquerque. Sita Waganatin, the last so in long, watching out of your Eshigo. Vagina Hoitna, Vagina with ko ebeni na ko do ko ai ba nan ni de kan so ya ha sin so ko da shabedili bansun kesoli sinan dai ko ai ko do ha dis do sha this is kanin sido kin ani bas chin last year or ya da shi chi no or ya da sinale azu da hat da ya do ya nan sta ya nabri estila do not anin sida hat da. People look up to me. They look up to you, and but I have by the no Irish not in Azil. Hard ships under il deo, she might couldn't hunt the radio station there, says I did out addition. A hot ya could orange had this. A hot shabbat dilly, a hot orange had this station and no shah, quite on longy. And it's good that I'm gonna have a pizza. All I had was a piece of fried bread over at the song and dance. I call what Ella, what I enjoy. Thank you very much. The Shin of Sound.
I can't answer my Jono Henzi. I don't know so hard just so that corner could it click it over Kahana, Jehid, the red, green, grilla, that. Quaggy or Kitty Tata 3 minutes out of being cut out a nice hole just so that it not eat or the Libik that had a hard about it on Sako. I could next one I can continue Nana the Higgy, the last so, but has Ade Mr. Willie Freeland then and George de Aden Hania. Arabic head, hey. I said, Mr. Clinton Jim, let's say, I had all that. How will you cousin yet?
Ik la kon have license zenebi waligi. Aroshi Dr. Nygren. Aro inhabitants. Other questions he thingy J. Willie Freeland, Chije. The Lord soy Einstein. Aro Etta needle the last soy what Bansus case hat needle. When on at DJ what done. Goroshi Children is Dadoi Yakashin Sogani, the last way, one Panda Heisnil. Aro in the Nadat Aiki Dasto. Aro She Yanagi, Jadadit Ninja Ajo, one Hokan Ishla. Aro Twashado, Tlosto and the Bedel Krigi dot no little Stlana Haidan Sosna and the Baba Okonde Ashin Shahadol Jason San Haishi so Solazane by Inchle around the Kodis Eastern Agency is a lot soigi and Nevichin has around the peso Ashon 4% in Nakigo 2% for financial assistance out of 2% a whole one. Noko 1 Gigi based on Hayuhano. Osanil Oko 80 3%. Financial help dolly 1% a housing jidolly hatne. She nailed cancel should say. 80 in a hut sign dilly. Aro in the veteran administration that has Tanegi. We need more accountability at the agency meeting. Don't stop. Asan is not dinan is not chapter. Niglas ago. La naranzan. Dinat ani veteran administration do. Abazait do that a deed sinton dail masan daidil kido litanzen. E what you Benny Chena hote. We're not getting response from the Veterans Administration. Oh, Hayuba, they're frustrated. Eriyamahans and Olishichi. I don't did that. Toye clean ainsle. Sana hapilina shije. Nanistel na kridneda shichi. Kia aneda shinale. What hands and Olishido hotney. Ko. Yeah, lanko. Shadid die. Apaka konal sos. The Dr. Nygren, Adakwinach, Adashiba, Sissi. Joe Shirley does a Dada was campaign dash in there. The not any Daigi president. Based on the Tahoe, Sawabik and that also. Line item veto had Nenegi. Been yet campaign da Elia. Then he thought under just cow. The Carnal and the Phoenix there. A call. I don't know. Such a little Shirley. The Kion doesn't taro little need. Shirley Nygren administration. The Khana is night down. Quande. Tana Khaidan was. Dina Khaidan Haljishad, but campaign da Elia. A shaw. But let need day. I don't know. Koyan hasne. Dalyaigi. Of course, I should yo chito shin hatniki. How has it ditsa? Shiban's case. Kedan hadit I. You have trial. You're not guilty until proven guilty in the court of law. She what about this case? Codigarit I let a chille. To honey has paid a husband and sindo. Abazaka a larger dish what she does and on cinche. Go eban to that case. Why judge a person with not even being proven that they're guilty? A konde kodoshi che, zido bench on. Do cut out a yahatzita. He's quiet about it. But spells and bejay silade. Ko when the shin hajis when the shin hajis ends and chin on cinches zido. Ede what the Pagonos and ole. Yo cheated not clot eh. Watch on the luo. The yotla. Pagonos and ole. Kela, on the Tony Chassi.
Najona he Mr. Phelan. Adananas Navajo just to let he. You cannot less standing rod. That seems to tell the wood the head your Simpsons at end that data. I know him for a long time. He used to rodeo a lot. Bulldoggen Lindo because he was nayo kisto the lotto. That's color. He was an all-round cowboy, did Mr. Clinton Jim. As Spurs up on some little bit is. Thank you, Mr. Clinton, calling that Ara coin kitty at the Lohat at the Bulldoggen and I became kitted about Hansen. Oh, ying a kiss and the look. Thank you.
I can't get all the seller. Don't do that che. Those miles. Yeah, although just twists on in the city are there. He'd say, are there aged Nana Shana Nation Lenigisha is the Bevenant I.
okay yapnant I begin eat those lesh don't need. Ako anje hund igit hayunal sauce. Bekelnan kade oni kojete enol as. Hat ila hayula hodol nil. Dadi no the kushi band the seat di den in Washington BIA bilit nenigi ahistro ka. Hodol nil di kodan lele shanat ani dasata. Mr. Halona, Navajo Nation, di korot na astani Navajo Nation bandashos nishin he na hasala. Di the District 15. Di a kodal standing rock now a ade atrap basata. Nana le White Rock de Urban Gym. Nana di kojena de skijido ako trago haotso. Di ke yapanant I han nenigi kojot ojogi. Jo ni spahoso ya at sabik is a dagi bedine permits kan hanazne. Shalchen nosleni, we need your help. Dida adabai nostragi a konde ade ya na kide. Trade dat shanat leo. Anast yegi lele satagi don nedo satagi njono hasso. Per ebigione anast adodni. Ya dide by district. Idaitan hasso. Le betlani etan Washington da hazoye. Edi hajo aro nast igitik abeka shidon da de be. Ede bikidnit singi ana kini kehnel. Elo dal asa. Enalt sospa da halondo ana zenigil IC bedo nilko Washington den peso nan dehigi. Mr. Halona. I see yendadnish. Alon that I see bad otsende. Now nish nel got all the stet nish. Ben not a sneniki yak at hayudne. Dobespahos in the Berlin hodloniki, but bekashi hodloniki. Habekashi hodlon. Di de politics banal dehigido ni not ani bekena dagi ashla. So the betlade sa dai Peter McDonald da sa da bunshnish. Aroshne ken hodjish. Ukrishi presidency not all day. But large law I can't I see it on the show Disney's Dalo Bikije about 10 minutes that's Alje Eltro. Alje Eltro Ben Dashid Nashoko Adeben Date Nashoko di Anai Netligi Dik Anai Netligi ni Tranas Nelben Lenny Laji Satagi Ido hot on his auntie Lord. Alo Sanishla Ash Kaisla Ashigi President Dikiji Lord. She hey Adi Bayat Di hot no. De konal sauce. Konal sauce. De olje hot as. Di de nostra. Hot abenagenish. Ben not on the consonant. Ebony nang was she. Koji can't niadot aita. Nana yego bo on the sheet a quijido a weekend go. Satse. Arjet. Not lonshibiki dest inja aja yasata. Even in Nago, the Terhot Sunday hon, Lesido Dinas, Neshigi, Aita Asia Spahozan. Akodon, Lesigi, a nice Nelovic edge, eight can't dotness. A Bahozon got old, Nesigo Tra, Din Nades, and she holds this. Aja could a dotney. Out Argo, a ya 3 seconds, she didn't. Ecco, coloi cot edole, sto chieni, già sido badio, ne so dicat, rema des count, di nast e bahuint enigi, and that old egi, e ade bahuint, e conscious des one. Tuesday go ganado the what our rally they lanky other what are any non should they lanko. Quite what Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Clinton Jim and they say I don't get as we go down the agenda. Nedley church rock. Said that the letter can't it sauce Nedley. Mr. Shaman Woody, make welcome if you will. Ata who is on it or the Gandin Hana Ilwala. So thank you, Mr. Sherman.
Oh, Yante. Hasi, Godo, Squido, Sani, Dotsas K, Doja K, Arod Adolsko, Sandos, Nishigi, Adot, and Hadlen, Kotego, Yate, Shide, Ya, no camp in the Yagi, A K, the Shato, quite the Shato, no kiddies, K, Hatzi, Conti Sha. This chain, Lenige, Nahaba, Nadat, you, Nis Ebeniga, Ahotan. Benina akot anigi sto anis eda beda hasil zin dis inais enigit oseshin tihe da beda hasil zin ostka lako ea ado shit kape hasil lahos das link sani dosa das link konda akoko ade akot ne hanas be yaho ado akot bahatzen go dona kin linda akot ashik no senigi binina nakhaba anada chinel she binina coin senigi no din shanakha chapter official from church right there school board hasata din shanakha stop the naika chon in concept kesgi no zelen show ebenachaba honizin ebinina Dina nicht aita ilin. Do quen dol so que else den ne alle no nicht tranedet achte dole. Hones no nos no da dol was aita ni ka o Shed o shaka o da kodosa ne ha zi dat ho nako ne ni shiro dat ho nako. Shed o Bikita hastahen hadem bikita tsaske kojon nasho aron le nash rasht and let eshdet no shin khad and dasht adishli on dishli got akoko bini na nigi la the church rock fire rock do hot ego lede has tweetan long beshpan has andan long yik heta hola di kwakin dot Lodgish al-Ido, Lodgish Labenda, and Nishi al-Ido, no, Bini Yeho Bido, Shastwidan Long, quite the hospital. This is Chehak est a his anil tato. Hodget in Hodo, ni beso opens ne. Doni Shastwia and opportunity, a beso yendas now, a quite kinde yisi. Die hat erst ahisa. Kojiko sa nanat anzazado bens koko nanat beshmahasa anich jego beso beto nishe aro yelat aslida ya. Je natin de mil so kimbik yago jego ohak erst a beso benzes ne hodoni. Hajosha bansaza kiesko. The nehut on sakes give a curtain to zone at the shot the initial lot just need talk yet on it. Did any get best bars on it when the house come? Did any get any such each quite anina ragi data to know dada the Hussins on yada just Dini no Bahanda Gishas, Ado Ila, that the Geningo, Bahanda Gishas. Stiga esto shesopot doshes on neither. Binina Abiba nada di Ani Nahanashus. Ani Nila the kins at Sosanelede. Dosa Kona Rida. Shin Schnigo and let the Nabat Hakoten Schnigo. Dikin Bebanda Jet Enege, Digoni Zins, Digoni Zins, Ado Sajer Apita, Kitat, oh, et ha ni nil. A cocotte art, I got so said ni nil. Church rotten. A cocotte. Di haketa hacha ata sa de ha shin kin wat a ile ho ya na ga khon pe so yi ta chen yo chi be e ya ta just la te ko ta a ko pini na shi khwa de sen the two be cha de do ba na ta yo a don ne de a ko ta di khona ni shi ka ke khona ni shi ka ke lo ka de trailer sa zin lo ko yilsan kunne baho go banance desa ho don nicht adon ne de khas aniki pinina anina gahagi akhot koko e ba atat yine ado in da saje gadi ahi jillan agadi ahi jillan the nebach ya just go shika dil wa he khadshno di bi yijnal sos hach ishla Alle Deutschkochen ingo saten den de beschitchen nelgo nal so shagla. A fancy denial letter because of grazing permit. Grazing permit shaka deal was a grazing permit need us it's up nel kwechit the shadow nicht dire hat der Schno hat ishla. Alle the Queen Zago a fancy denial letter shijila Justin Jones. Consha dato nozen sozenda hatin schlinige hot hakesa zindole. Die Shisha to the Zimbidit, Shain Nobig dit, Ege, Kong Obik change ila a cut Beninae doshes on nida. Ado radit I be his ani do chon on a sojourner. Din dad nishig the Neba Washington yan dad nishigi. Some of them are permanent employees. Atskohot ahotish nishjane. Hashet ego. Disas kaejes and hatashi the nedatish nisla natin. Nezna ashlaat tapindache. They're committed to the Navajo Nation. They're committed to serving the people of the Navajo Nation. Atskohot ahotish. Johot ahotit doshli at eta. Hot anahat hat ishbin yahastui da jelingo, ndajent ago, hueda hozengo, hueda hot elzengo, hot enegi hachina hot ab, bayadat kego, beke nan Georgia, shidoshes anida akot binina. Di do honenegi do hot an hachinian sakesigi, ba anada di nisenshit. Binina shinne. Listen sakes lingo binina hadasha do bashin kot nisha ahon hit iliago hot an hina hast dasha hajo in the senior center not stink the bansa hola do zanits adana dash khas hola kot binina hot an hat agit ashon de shast kuis zani setzelke no senigi hajoban sadakes diedo nan hitos kata diedo kodolse nan dadol khatsen nan the nol in to nigo not so kesen ahot ho wanda binie hatat osago hone la nal so kedesk in dik at alskobet on nishno ya nahal nehe alsko ido lis Heda kunne bitchentas ado kunne tzedek adis kan ho wanani gehen hito nine tahot echonesna nal sosen schajgo ido yes hashrod nil edo da scholarship in do ni ashla de mil ben hika anda wodo no be yatke adna khatchen ba da huishijo kunne sahot enige da nanes da nachats a khidoli nchwe ashla da nezatin banano ni khodo ni dosha dinahat ahot enige do bahazenda ado ked behedestige sheshnot ani bahasen So hey should che hey nle nan dal nishigi khodat has en lepich yan de shnigo bich naste den neba hotsen go belichijot ego bil na hijit logo bilich yajelt go bo hodene na yedene na go njrono go benan nishios o kot shishit yat Ano di kere personist hat nigo tsudun ata ne ye khata zi ye khata zi elon hin he besota elon hin he besota hat ash at schnedanossen Washington lele de kos on ade koden ata has ein yeni nele Shiga edo shisha besa da no watch scotch no show lego qadia yat hinda hastli qadia dibi khai hat ishin yenle the cospe besa yet under basa honi loda atene incho hade shin besa has yene ade the mil so hodo geso quen nato nishan ya kota put a gon sache so yat e ses hasin ko Ado en let o de had de shinke de had ego tenne kon de kehwit enige yen khind hojo badanit ego tkhosje bet hunde ka open khata jotlo nlahotlo a hasa open khata jotlo let o de keda hojit enige nda nil ka de ginde diet oba I Holleit sopi sali dan hijnot on hen khan da jit ingot o she khan da jla behez ani kweni cha da jil do hot da he jo hot koko ni hie she don na kin li dan le kin ya jo go de shwol kojugo gon bi ga he asa ha gi ben yes le kin hot anaz nel chita inde nas ni hitaten Ishin be antahas antaten de chinda don da altseda chenna da don da altseda khodat echda inde jokhot aden let an hiranun yahande kakoteni kedo a kon khelchinto binel tako binina ni got ni jat bahantahas ani kai bahtanas kot Adan len zaden leşte hadi kinde kiyaje sa aşa kadınları not ana loso pizza bir rahal not ana loso sa na di dinsinde di au ye kaşık ebini na ya şişi çeba haco ba insin ba nan hidiş Hodo nes nice kahat zihne ba na da giyi ne Bindi nakhalchen anin da kagi not ani danle bindi khot anigi benan nish de yosin shesh ya shesh ya shnan nish ishla o hayusha nach khot ebini na eba joba in singo abke sazingo din shna do akot koko shahe ntrago ni jasi
Yeah. I say I'm not for the Shadadan, not Kehanana Titolete. Ladies and gentlemen, Buu Nygren, 4 more years, yeah. Adeya Marilyn Zaho. Marilyn Zaho, hello, dear. Are what you're shipping you cheat out all the Aro a shahad are Nakana so Kagi. Thursday go teaching dan Nishokadi Thursday by own nato. Gonaro the rally le ish okay. I'm sorry, Tuesday go let two Nike Chindan Nisho rally at later. That's gonna be a big one. It's gonna be a real big rally. A radio station bigide, Katin and the radio station bigide. Arit Skoyada KB deeds adolet. Arabanasne, hey. Already live stream it on Facebook to TikTok the bees deeds. Ako. When I saw Tanishida and that kid, I said Lanta has linked. To has on let audit neta is on the talk Korea, got Lanta has linked. I can't Eastern Agency Crownpoint Buu Nygren. I hope they don't let.
Hi, Adat. Hey, Shay. Hi, Marilyn Zowie. Nishya. Iso Sakada. Nasha. Adat. The wise in his about 61 miles. Adat. Shike. Clash change. Lido. Nanish. Eja Bashishi. Or does it Shaya? Ado. A change. Lido. Hawatlana. Yai. Dashanala. Oh, Shamado. Jay. Yai. Richard and Marie Smith. Gende. Atlanat. Aj. Ado di ya California day gisi siya kana hundi. Ada sitil wado. Should on not though, should on not the Buu Nygren rally, should on not so. Bekin to Tayaho, Tahon so. You say Roseby, California di siya kan. Adi nash, the sto is a na kahinsla. Adi at 2005 at Daho in Ado Shalchana Adid, the Altra don da istra. Tlaibet na aj, a kidi gis yaj, kare iltra. Oh, idiot, about Vice President, but campaign da ilia. I see Jahadate in the Ankahunas Nandi. Oh, and the other Nadi, Wado President, honestly, though, Kadani, Lish, but Hosh Gate only to my city, the only Kayanta there, a Wanaza. Oh, I don't know, Lake Valley there, trailer, the Nebabakada is Woodigi, but I was Nahagi, later, no Jutaza. I seen lay between that's Iggy, general system of food stamp, don't not jai, they can't cat hat, niggy, total electricity, bathroom edition, badalia. Oh, could I need the Nayat heat at Buu Nygren? I see go the Naka, Ashish Ashilsa. Oh, the net quishi, I see go, you can't add what. Don't you cheat, I did Andy. Oh, Shiba, I need Zedi. Oh, did lash a neighbor. So that's why oh, that bagan that tendi. Janshi tendi. I had that outline. I go in and I yet I added is a car, then yet I shall know today. Hadith says that no. Ebony and here. Yeah, Buu Nygren, Jano now Ado, the next 4 years, Jano that is Nito, a hat or laid down, didn't it? I don't know, I like it on not illness. Oh, you asked that never is candy. A condy, yeah, what happened? Then it's home in this is the separating this high school, I did Yana Kainslinde, Farmington High School. So I don't that the Yaro, let's go Kadiata. So California, the AI, I did Shakana Hosla, but the weather's nice. Okay, yeah.
Well, thank you, Marilyn. I don't know, Nasna Hall just to list. There's a Sanando, there's a Sago. Out of a KD, yeah. There's on Chicago, Squia, the list. But KD in the Lian to list. Out of a ya, I did this sort of this Sitano Senegi Corda. There's that Sibina and Johnny Ya caught the Hata, to clean it out. Don't have to cater to this, eh? There's a beha you get out of no you do this. The shit online that is not angry. I be didn't date the Hata to clean so the continent are. Eggy out of no you do this cargo. YouTube that I don't know any, Facebook that I not any, make it out snahe. I don't need so kagi online. Buu Nygren. Amon Ranger, Coyote Canyon. Come on down. A kid or this out of a kid, Hunde Lianto.
3 minutes. Hello, Eastern. Welcome out here, everybody. I'm Ammon Ranger. Like he said, I'm from Coyote Canyon, just up the road a little bit. My grandparents were Bernice Ranger and Tom Ranger. I'm Ushklishni, so I'm Jasmine Nygren's brother. She's my little sister by clan. And I'm a Twitachitni. Aro tachi ni bashishe, ado tina janita shinale. We need to elect Buu Nygren for another 4 years. We need to elect him again. Like my brother said, there are so many people trying to be president right now, and they have been over the last last year or two, campaigning even from the positions that we actually elected them to. And they've been making it hard for him to do his job. They've been making him everything they can to keep us from moving forward and keeping progress because they wanted that job. They wanted to be the president. If you want to elect somebody that's really rich, don't elect President Nygren. Because I can tell you guys one thing, he does not have $24 million. Okay? He doesn't have the money. The money isn't even missing. We know where it is. It was bid on. A company won that bid. A Navajo-owned, woman-owned business was awarded that contract. She was given that money, and then we gave it to another company. We know where it is. It's not missing. But we see so much online, so much gossip and so much rumors. And that's the thing about, the internet. You can write things that aren't true. I know that's shocking. It's crazy. But there's no fact checkers on the internet. And because there's no fact checkers on the internet, you can just write whatever you want. And sadly, because the crazier stuff you write, the more gossip you put out there, the more attention you're going to get. And so these rumors spread and they get out there and people read this and they see this and they think, oh, well, this $24 million must be missing. Buu Nygren must have done this. He must have done that. When he didn't do any of that stuff. But when you write the truth and say that we're building more houses than we've ever built, when you say that we've created more home site or approved more home site leases than we ever have before, that doesn't get the attention. When we talk about opening our own rehabilitation facility, keeping it in-house in the tribe, taking care of our own people, that doesn't get the attention. What gets the attention is all the gossip and all the rumors, the AI pictures, showing things that are not true. We have to elect Buu Nygren because of this, because we need to keep moving forward. Because, brothers and sisters, we are moving forward. We're moving forward these last 3 years farther than we've ever moved before. President Nygren's built more houses than the last 3 administrations combined. All of the other presidents put together, he has still built more houses. And he's going to build more. We made our goal of 1,000 houses. This next time, what are we hitting? 3,000, 4,000? All right, you guys heard it. He said 5,000. And we're going to get those home site leases approved and we're going to get this work done. But we have to keep moving forward. I don't work for the tribe right now. I'm a sales manager. I work for a regular company off the reservation. I manage a sales team, a couple hundred people that work underneath me. I'm basically an adult babysitter. I babysit adults as a manager. But part of my job is to help these people get better at their job, help them improve. They come into me. Some of them have never been in a sales job before. It's my job to help them get better at that, which is pretty hard. And I've done a lot of different things to try to help my teams get better. I've done trainings and have given them feedback and all that stuff. But I found that there's one thing that makes people better at their job. One thing, and that's time. I can do all the trainings I want. I can motivate my employees all I want. But what it always comes down to is if I can keep them working, if I can keep them doing that same job, they get better at it. And it's going to be the same way with President Nygren. And that's why we have to elect him. Because if we elect somebody else, it's going to be back to day one, back to square one. It's somebody else that's going to have to learn how to be the president right from the start, right from scratch. And was that easy to learn how to be president, President Nygren? It was not easy. But he's there. He's got 3.5 years of job experience. So when we get out there to vote, remember who has the job experience, who's been delivering the homes, who's making a difference in our lives. That's right, President Nygren is. And I know I can count on all of you guys to get out there and vote. I know I'm going to be there in Coyote Canyon putting my ballot in for President Nygren. What we have to do to win is get our friends and family to go too. You got to pick up that hitchhiker you see walking and tell them, okay, I'll give you a ride as long as you're voting for President Nygren. Roll down the window and just ask them if they're registered to vote. If they say yes, then say, hop on in. We're going to go vote for the president. because that's how we're going to win this election. We need to get everybody out there to vote. We need to get President Nygren another 4 years in office. I support President Nygren because I know him. You know, 12 years ago, running around the elections, you know, seeing each other, talking to each other, before he even told me or said anything about wanting to become president. And I know that he's someone that really cares about our people. You know, like he said, there's 15 other people running to be president right now. On top of that, there's probably another 10 or 15 council delegates that want to be president. And on top of that, there's probably another 10 or 15 other people online that want to be president. I support President Nygren because he doesn't want to be president. He wants to be a leader. He wants to serve. He's not in it because he wants the title, because he wants the fabulous salary. He's in it because he cares about all of us. And that's why we all need to vote to re-elect President Nygren here in 10 days and take everybody you can. Talk to all your friends. Tell them to vote for President Nygren. Tell them that money's not missing. We know where it is. And think about that. Lost $24 million and still built more houses than everybody else. Lastly, I'm over here selling t-shirts, so get a shirt, show your support. They're very high quality fabric. Thank you.
Yeah. Ada yasho. Dibidas litolis Tuesday go. Kanado rally ebahashnagi that's gonna be live on radio station. K-Tina ne. Aaron later she came with us Anita is gonna be live stream again. TikTok though, Facebook though. Oh, you net the East Aunt or list up and not so list. I could I see that's gonna be a big one. Aro asha Nikidini the list, but like at the Hashizo Kankinat Anin Hanyakin Jonia. Ayobe Yahut Edo Huinaigo has uncon the cat. This whether you need Uncle Ona Auto, that's the feeling that we have. Akakonat Anin Hanyagi. Get yada, I did Oreo Yita is on the Tarrant and I'll Kidipija. Oshi Kayut and the East Akodata Zetar Ashana Akoya Nishito is a son of Seno Dinta, Nishito Kodonkinat Ani, Nabanan Arozasano Taho, Hezan Sago Shaha. Todi Ganditanka is the Did Harashido. Hata so zigi so that you need a hata so zi get the illegal. A shahada to nido a corotin nana hagoshe don't canon at the list. A coeshe di quaya hushito need Fasha citizen habehin zito list. Lancely a codi hazashi be no touching the yins a sandishni. The Nazabe all any bebahunt at the yin. Now, Sosanana bebahunt at Hadatin Sich Jabe, Hai Shibet or the Zini, the Bahunosan, the yin is a saya. Kodobich Beha, Nenige its aunt is a sati yin. Hakushi, I didn't get a hota anita hotlonigin hota nito. Ada the deal get so the Zenshita Hoslon so other Schnita. So the Zenio Yegi ya Akit will nag it up a yatke. Had the city in Bitchbeo Kedigi, that donas ada. Oh, that's only he thought the yatke, or that's so. How that's so doesn't. I couldn't have it, it, and I don't know how to pray, the Nita. Edo hot Ada that it all shit will nag it out. Hakushila, Nikata Hozon, then no catolet. I wrote the Kede ya, Kodonkinat, I'm Dr. Buu Nygren ya. At the hunter sheets Ada when Shudo later don't know. Epi Huido Artida. Arabich this double like at a dish that no snake. Epi has andolet. I don't shadow, Tiandes, any dog shahan later. But the high but loud kid, but like is kitten that chosen and I didn't have that sort or look at that leader. Thank you, Victoria Pizza, yeah.
I guess there's just some things that just don't change. But I guess there's just some things that just don't change.